This is it. This is the final stretch. Epic Universe is now less than 90 days from opening, and we, like you guys, we got this a lot in our last video. You don't know where to start. Ashley and I decided to put Chat GPT to the test, and this is what we came up with. Surprisingly, it's really good. The results might shock you, so use this when you go, because we definitely are. Let's go.
So historically speaking, Universal has opened up their parks at 8 a.m. during peak seasons, which means that the park for early park admission opens up at 7. So, and this is not talking about Epic Universe, this is just Universal Parks in general. So we are going to go based off of this idea of the best case scenario, the earliest possible time that Universal has opened up. And this is just to give us a timeline, a visual of what we can do and, put numbers to stuff. Obviously, when the dates and the times actually come out for the park, for Epic Universe itself, we will change our expectations based off of those times.
But right now,
we are saying that early park admission starts at 7 because Epic Universe opens up at 8 o'clock.
For the most part, we know our day starts at probably 5 a.m. Here's the first thing that you're going to want to go to. You're going to want to run to Super Nintendo World. So we know they have two areas open during early park admission, which is Celestial Park and Super Nintendo World. We are going to Super Nintendo World, and the first ride we're going to get on is Minecart Madness. And here's the reason why. Minecart Madness is a new ride to Universal. Yeah, they have it in Japan, but this is the only other place you're going to have it, and it doesn't have as high a capacity as even Mario Kart Next Door. So what you want to do is ride the most popular ride first. People do this now for early park admission in Iowa Universal. You ride the top e-ticket attraction rides first. I know that's kind of counterintuitive because Hagrid's is usually unbearable from the get-go. But it is necessary because this will free up your time later, because that ride is not going to be able to move as quickly as all the other ones.
And since we're starting off with Minecart Madness, we are going to hop right over to Bowser's Challenge right after that because, it's in the same area. You have to save your steps where you can and get in the most amount of time. Now, I will say this kind of splits off into two different scenarios depending on who you are. So if you're a coaster enthusiast, I would expect you to go straight to Celestial Park and do Stardust Racers. That is going to be a wildly popular roller coaster. It's the only original land that Epic Universe has, so everybody's probably going to want to see it. It really just falls down to where your priorities are. Obviously, we're taking kids with us, and they are obsessed with everything Super Nintendo. So that is just where we're going to start. And we're able to get in 2 rides versus 1. So I feel like that's where it benefits us. But if you fall on the other side of that spectrum, absolutely go straight to Stardust Racers. And if you have time before EPA ends to jump in line for the other 2, then do that.
And moving on from that, so we just said we went through the Minecart Madness. We went to Mario Kart, and it will put us roughly around, say, the 9 o'clock hour. So now the park is officially open to everyone. Where are we going next?
So we're moving on to Isle of Berk. This is a really good one to do during the day, I would say, because Florida gets very, very, very unbearably hot. I would say by the time 11 o'clock rolls around, it feels like the 4th of July. It's so hot. So this is a good land to do. It's the biggest land in the park. So it's a lot of outdoors. It's one of those things you want to get out of the way early before the sun really starts to set in.
This is where I disagree with Chat GPT, okay? Because it says around 9:30 after you do Super Nintendo World to go to Isle of Berk. Here's the problem. Isle of Berk is on the complete opposite side of Super Nintendo World, and that would mean I'd have to walk away from Dark Universe. Dark Universe, while I would love to experience that at night, which I'm sure I'll go back at some time at night, if I'm already in Super Nintendo World because I was there for early park admission, you already have the leg up from a lot of other people who were there or coming in for the first time, starting at the front gate at 9 a.m., as opposed to Super Nintendo World, which is right next to Dark Universe. As soon as I can, and I'm okay with skipping Mario Kart. Even for the kids, this is
Agreed.
the kiddies, right? But no, and this is
They'll be okay.
They'll be okay. We'll come back, and I want to go straight to Monsters Unchained.
Well, hang on, because there is a hack. So if we do go there at around 9:30, I plan on eating at Mead Hall for lunch, and I plan on eating lunch at 11 instead of the noon hour because that's going to be the time when most people are going to eat their lunch. So I'm expecting, okay, if we do an early lunch, that's more time that we have to get on rides while everybody else is actually eating lunch. So that's why I feel like 9:30 to around that noon-ish time frame in Isle of Berk is like the perfect thing to do, and then head straight to Dark Universe because by that time everybody will be going to lunch.
Yeah, agree, disagree, because I'm not doing that. I'm going straight to Dark Universe. So I mean, so y'all can
Whatever
you
it
can do that
takes.
all you want, right? Like
We'll eat Uncrustables and
I'll
wine.
eat whatever. But Universal has released the menu and all the different food items that are going to be available at Epic Universe finally. So now we can plan what we're going to be eating for lunch.
While we're there in Isle of Berk, especially either before or after lunch, I want to see the Untrainable Dragon. Like, if there's one show I have to see in Epic Universe, it's the Untrainable Dragon.
Okay, so that puts us at, say, maybe 12,
Exactly.
12:30, 1 o'clock.
To go over to Dark Universe, I see Chat GPT is steering us in the right direction.
I'm already there. I've already gone to Dark Universe at this point, so maybe this is part 2 for me. But hey, maybe for you at this point, for the sake of example, let's just say that you're going to Dark Universe around this time.
So the second we get to Dark Universe, we are heading straight to Monsters Unchained. At this point,
No question.
At this point, it's about 2 o'clock. The sun is hitting, and lucky for us, the queue is inside. Now, the extended queue, we have seen some footage of that. It is outside. But if we're lucky enough to beat that lunchtime rush, we are getting to wait in that nice, cool queue. I'm sure it's just going to be amazing with the details and everything. I'm excited.
Which brings us to an interesting point. We don't know yet specifically because as of right now, nothing has been announced, but we could be looking at the possibility of having an Express Pass option. So probably keep that in mind, keep that in your budget perhaps. Even with the Express Pass, I really think it could just be moderate. You could still end up waiting a pretty decent amount of time,
Absolutely.
even with that. So
after we do Monsters Unchained, you can do one of two things. You can do Curse of the Werewolf, or you can move on to the next land. I personally am okay with skipping out on Curse of the Werewolf. I think that ride is going to be fantastic. I love the ride system itself. I think it's super fun. But for me personally, Ministry of Magic is calling my name.
now we're looking at, let's say around 3 p.m., ChatGPT has us going to the Ministry of Magic.
Okay, so if you're going to the Ministry of Magic and you have not done Curse of the Werewolf, it's probably around 3 p.m. If you did do it, it's probably around 5 o'clock, which is why I say if you can skip Curse of the Werewolf, skip it. So we're going on to the Ministry of Magic, and I am super excited for that ride. The ride system itself, I'm a sucker for anything that looks like an elevator ride.
I mean, you think about how popular Tower of Terror is, and this is going to be our version of that.
Exactly. So we're doing that, and then there's also one more thing that I have to do. I'm stopping to get a snack.
If you guys have watched the channel for any bit of time, or if you follow us on Instagram, which if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram. But trivia question: what is Ashley's favorite park snack?
The
crepes. The
Yes.
crepes. And so the Wizarding World just so happens to have what might be one of the best snacks in the park. The Butterbeer Crepe. So this is one of their new snacks that they released with the food items that Universal recently announced. And
it looks
what you think about this, Nash? I'll let you talk about the Butterbeer Crepe because I like crepes, but this is clearly your department. So
I'm a sucker for crepes. So Universal usually does they have their savory crepes and their sweet crepes. I am more of a sweet crepe gal. Like that's what kind of made me fall in love with it. Strawberry, Nutella, and banana. The classic combination. So I'm really excited to try the Butterbeer Crepe because, I mean, Butterbeer anything, hello, is delicious.
The ice lolly from Diagon Alley was really
so
good.
If you guys have not tried the ice lolly, you got to try it. It's really good. But the Butterbeer Crepe, it's just everything that you love wrapped up into one. But as I'm talking about this, I'm almost wondering, do you feel like the line to get a Butterbeer Crepe is going to be as long as a ride? I feel like it's going to be a very popular item.
Yeah, I mean, and the way it sounds right now, it's probably going to be the only place you can get a crepe, very similar to Central Park crepes in the universe right now,
There's
on
only one
average,
place.
there's only one place to get it, and there's always a long line because they're made fresh to order.
Which is good. good.
Yeah, this is good. That's one of those things to where you never know what's going to happen. I mean, especially if it's really good. I mean, think about the smoked brisket crepe, how good, that's just a staple right now.
But honestly, heck, we get the butterbeer crepe and then we take it with us and go eat it in line. Because you can do that at Universal. You just have to throw the stuff away by the time you get to the ride. So eat it in line while we look at the queue and just have ourselves a nice little snack.
That puts us right around 5 o'clock.
We're looking at between 5 to 7 range, depending, like I said, if you did Curse of the Werewolf in this time period, or if you just skipped that and went straight to the Ministry of Magic. And so now it's telling us to go back and circle around to things that we either didn't get to do or didn't get to see. So again, at this time, you can go back and do Curse of the Werewolf. At this time, you can go back and do Stardust Racers. You can pretty much take the time to just walk around, take pictures, go shopping, do whatever you want. But especially since it's going to be nighttime, like around that 7 o'clock area, I am going straight to Dark Universe just because, I mean, it's Dark Universe. You got to see it in the dark.
Yeah, and you have to experience it, and it's the way that it's intended to be experienced, which I think it's supposed to be. And I think Epic Universe in general, if you remember the concept art, or if you look at any of the things, it usually looks like it's at night, because this park, I think, is going to be a completely different experience come nighttime. It's going to be peak season. It's going to be the summertime. And so typically the parks close around 10 p.m. at peak season at Universal. That is usually both parks, Universal and Islands of Adventure. So I would assume Epic Universe would probably be no different. And because of that, now we have about a good 5 hours left. We've gone through 3 lands. And now the 4th land that we're going to be experiencing is Celestial Park. We want to save Celestial Park for last because now it's still enough sunlight, because this is Florida. It's going to be sunny up until probably 8 p.m.
Oh yeah,
especially getting into the month of May. So you're still going to have time to be able to experience everything in Celestial Park, like Astronomica, like the carousel. So you can still get your splash on for the kids. You can still ride the carousel, and then you can ride Stardust Racers when the lights are probably on, because Rip Ride Rocket, I mean, the lights are usually on all day, and you can still see it.
At night.
It sounds like we're making kind of a U-turn, because I'm getting hungry and I'm ready to eat dinner. So where are we eating dinner at?
We are eating dinner at Das Steakhouse in Dark Universe.
Good job, Chat GPT. All right.
Yes.
Das Steakhouse, which is another one of those things. So now we know what Das Steakhouse is going to have to offer in detail. So we were able to get some pictures of that too. And I am most excited for the blood orange chicken sandwich. Now, I'm a sucker for any chicken sandwich.
I had a feeling you would want that one.
Yeah, but look, this thing looks just... we're probably gonna change the Instagram profile picture to this sandwich, because to me it is a work of art, and it kind of reminds me of this. I think it was like a burger that they had for HHN, I think a year or two ago. You HHN aficionados, y'all tell me. I think there was a burger that looked very similar to this, and the blood orange chicken sandwich is flash fried marinated chicken breast and is in tantalizing blood orange sauce, served on a black bun, tangy pickles, slaw crispy fries. You guys can keep the pickles. I'm not a pickle guy. This thing it sounds like a really safe option. It looks great. Probably is going to taste good, because anything that's hard fried chicken like that, you already know there's nothing like a good chicken sandwich, and it's not too heavy at a theme park too.
Exactly. That's why I'm getting the fish on a steak. So it is the blackened salmon, and I'm obsessed with salmon. I love it. I'll order it almost anywhere. It's delicious. I've never had a bad one. And it's just a nice light option after doing like roller coasters and stuff all day, especially after going to Mead Hall. I feel like that's going to be a very heavy meal. So it'll be nice to end something off with a night. But it's blackened salmon steak served with roasted veggies and charred green onion mashed potatoes. You can't go wrong with that kind of dish.
Yeah, sounds pretty healthy, and
yes.
I mean hey, it's there. It's there.
Sound off in the comments if you're a salmon person, because I know I'm not the only one. And it's actually really nice because they also have like vegan options here at this restaurant. We haven't seen like the full menus for all of the places yet, but I do know this is one of the places that does offer vegan food, so that's really nice for people. But I'm also really excited for the red velvet death cake that they're gonna have. I love red velvet anything, so I'm really excited for that one too.
And notice how we really wanted to keep it simple, because we are going on a time crunch. We all know we've been there before, especially when we only got one day to really make it work. As of right now, hey, we don't have any extra days booked at Epic Universe because we're trying to hold out. We're trying to hold out and wait until they announce tickets, passes, something else, because we know how one time isn't going to be enough. We want to choose the places that we are the most interested in eating at. So, of course, there's different options. Universal has, like I said, we released the menu. They've released what they're going to look like. So do your research on that. There's plenty of videos out there detailing specifically the food for some of our other friends out there. So be sure to check those out as well. That is putting us toward the end of our day here at Epic Universe. What do you think so far? I think we've covered everything. Chat GPT did a pretty good job. I disagree about the dark universe at the afternoon. I mean, I'm doing that first thing in the morning, but...
And there's just, some tips that I just want to give out there just so people can kind of prioritize the things that you want to do, which I guess is tip number one. Prioritize what you want to do. I know we gave the rundown of, what we're going to do, but that's because those things were important to us. Some of the things that I mentioned with us skipping, things like fire drill, things like Curse of the Werewolf, none of those rides that we mentioned are bad whatsoever. We just have a higher priority of what we want to get done because, like I said, we only have one day. And don't feel pressured to sit down and eat at the restaurants if you only have one day as well. If it was up to me, I'd probably pack a sandwich just so I can fit everything that I need to in. But Jordan kind of had to convince me. He's like, no. We need to take the time and enjoy the experience at the restaurants, which is true because those are experiences in itself. So Universal has been doing mobile ordering at all of their newer restaurants. So I'm hoping that that's something that they're going to implement here in this park. And if so, it'll make things way easier. So have the Universal app downloaded onto your phone.
Epic Universe, we know it's going to be a game changer. And we have a lot more videos coming up about Epic Universe, about Universal in general, because this is an exciting time. This is not something that has been seen in a long time. And if you're on the fence, you probably have seen our stuff on the channel before. We got kids and family stuff. Epic Universe, as we said before, has almost just as much to do there as the other parks right now. And this is Universal getting back to form for what they're known for.
So if there's anything that we spoke about today that you agree with or disagree with, let us know in the comments. What would you guys do? How would you guys plan your day differently from ours? And also, if you would like a copy of this itinerary, because we had to do a lot of work to get Chat GPT to cooperate with us on this, leave us a comment down below. We will leave our Instagram handle and go follow us on Instagram. We will send you a DM with the itinerary.
We think that we got it as close as we possibly can.
I did have to go in and do some tweaking because it's not up to date on everything they have to offer. So, lucky for you, we're just going to give it right to you guys.
Yeah, so if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Instagram as well as subscribing to us on YouTube. If you thought if this video was helpful, if you got some value from it, let us know. Everyone is welcome. Join the family. We are so excited because we're going to be at Terra Luna. We have way more stuff coming up. So we will see you guys on the next one.